Hello, everybody. I was hoping for the countdown, but I guess I didn't get it. It is me, Tiffany Rochelle, and welcome to the Wisdom Fountain. And it is day one of the Progress Push 5 Day Discipline Challenge. So, just in case you're new here, which I don't think most of you are, but in case you are, just to let you know who I am the behind the scene queen. I I'm a leadership strategist and I am a accountability coach. I am a purpose accelerator and I work with leaders to overcome their challenges in the dark so that they can shine in the light. And what I did was I did a challenge in December through our community, the Wisdom Fountain. And if you are in the Wisdom Fountain, hey y'all, hey. And in December, I was led to start a discipline challenge because there were things that I needed to complete, I needed to get done, and I was struggling with. I known that the end of the year was coming, and there were things that I knew I wanted to complete, but I just was kind of feeling a lack of motivation, feeling a little dejected about some of the things that weren't done, and I also knew that other people were feeling that too. And so I initiated the Get It Done in December Discipline Challenge, and what I will be doing now is doing these challenges on a quarterly basis so that we will be able to check in and be accountable in those spaces in a loving but a pushing way. So this one is the end of the first quarter, and it is called the progress push. Yeah, after January, when many of us have set those goals to go to the gym, set those goals to get the website up, set those goals to, spend more time with our family, whatever the push has been, we might have dropped the ball. I know, even for me, who is the author of this challenge, there's some things that are still, creeping along, moving along a little slow. Um, but it's okay. It's okay. Once we put things into place to allow us to get it done. So before I continue, I'm just going to check a couple of my studio settings because I am here all by my lonesome getting this done. And I just want to make sure that everything is moving. Okay, so I can see myself. Cool. That's all I needed to know. And trying to make sure that I can see the captions. And trying to make sure that I can see. Okay, so I don't have an echo. I want to make sure if there are any comments in here that I'll be able to see them and address them. Please feel free to comment and to, please feel free to comment and ask any questions if you come in here. So, I gave a little history on why I started the initial discipline challenge. And in order for us to move forward, we're going to move backward a little bit. So, the theme of this month, April Progress Push, the first day is reflection. Reflection is a part of discipline and it helps give us guidance, right? We're able to look back and see what has happened, what we've done, what we've accomplished, what our challenges have been, to see what we learned, what's working, what's not working. And so, in order to do that, I just want to go over some of the definitions that were established in December. So, one of the things is, what is discipline? A lot of times when we think of discipline, we think of rigidity, we think of ritual. But one of the things that I established in the definition is that in order to be disciplined, we actually need to be flexible, because discipline is an act of coming out of our comfort zones. Comfort zones are established by our rituals, by our habits, by the things that we do on a daily basis that make us feel comfortable that we know that make us seem like we're in control of situations and settings. But when we seek to come out of those comfort zones, that's what discipline is. And discipline requires flexibility. So, in order to be disciplined, we must be flexible. Then we also um, identified some of the things, some of the tactics, and we'll go more over those in the coming days again to reiterate and reestablish. But we came over, we went over why we established goals, why we needed discipline in the first place. And one of the main things about discipline is it helps to build consistency. Consistency is different than ritual or habit. Consistency can take on different forms, i.e., I'll give an example of improving your health, right? In order to improve our health, we usually set goals. Sometimes there's the big goal of, I want to lose 20 pounds. Now, that's a very nondescript goal. It has it's not actually a goal. That's a statement. Let me just say that. I want to lose 20 pounds is a statement. It's not a goal. Getting to discipline is saying, okay, I want to lose 20 pounds by, and then you add a date, right? Or I want to lose weight by implementing better eating habits, by exercising, by getting sleep, by drinking more water. And then in those things, we establish incremental goals, which allow us to attain the bigger goals. So, again, saying, all right, I'm going to fast on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. That's discipline. That's establishing a action that is actually going to help move us forward toward our goal. I'm going to drink more water. I'm going to drink a gallon of water a day. That is a definite action. That is a discipline to drink the water that is going to enable us to reach the ultimate goal. Cutting out carbs, exercising. I'm going to walk every day for 15 minutes. That is a definitive action. That is a discipline that, when applied with consistency, will help us reach the ultimate goal. So, the importance of these things is understanding that nothing gets done without discipline. Nothing gets enacted, nothing gets completed without discipline. But also, discipline does not mean rigidity. Discipline does not mean torture and pain. Discipline does not mean shame, guilt, and abuse. So, establishing that and understanding that sometimes our biggest abusers are ourselves. And when we set goals and we don't succeed in them, oftentimes we spend an inordinate amount of time beating ourselves up about it. So, my goal in this first quarter is not to beat you up or teach you ways to beat yourself up, but to help you get a clear picture of where you are, where you've been, and where you're going. Right? So where you've been, where you are, and where you're ultimately intending to go. Um, and reflection is important in discipline, or you'll just continually keep setting goals, setting things, saying things, and nothing will get done because you have not even looked to see what you've succeeded in or how you have succeeded. I'll ask you that question. Do you know up until this point how you have been successful? If you don't, it's okay. We will go over that. So, one of the first things that I want to ask about in this day of reflection is, what challenges have you faced? What challenges have you faced to reaching your goal? Right? What challenges have you faced? Well, before we know what challenges we face, we got to figure out, what goal have you set? So I suggest incremental goal setting. You will hear me say this a number of times. You'll hear me say this throughout the few days. This is what one of the things I established in the December challenge. It's important to have incremental goals set so that You're not overwhelmed by the big picture. That example that I just gave of implementing days of eating certain things, drinking more water, that's an example of incremental goal setting. So we're in the first quarter of the year, and some of us may um, have had the forethought to set our goals for the whole year. I'll be honest, I have never been one of those. I've never been able to map out my whole year. Why? One, because I have a very flexible schedule and things come up. Sometimes I don't even know what country I'm going to be in. So for me to say, oh, I'm going to do this on Friday the 13th in October, I can't really do that at the beginning of the year. However, unless it's a contractual obligation or something that I've planned, um, that will be that way. However, one of the things I have not actually read the book, but I've seen the techniques of it is a 12-week year. So I believe why having this challenge right now is good is because it's a quarterly quarterly goal setting so that we can take it piece by piece, part by part, in order to achieve a greater level of success. So I'm going to ask you this: take a moment right now, pull out your calendar, look at those notes, those notebooks. What goals did you set for the first quarter? We're not going to look at the whole year. What goals have you set for the first quarter of the year? And where are you with those? Right? Have you started eating better? Have you started drinking more water? Did you start going to bed earlier? Have you started making sales calls? Have you gone to networking events? Have you, whatever incremental things were important for your ultimate goal, have you started it? Have you even begun? And one of the things that I've seen happen is a lot of times we set a goal, and I'm just going to keep using the food and the weight goal because it's universal, right? Men, women, we tend to kind of want to be healthier, right? And a lot of times what we'll do is we'll say, okay, on this Monday, I'm going to start this program, or I'm going to start, I'm going to stop eating bread. I'm going to drink more water. I'm going to do whatever it is. Monday comes and we do good. Tuesday comes, we struggle a little bit, but we do fine. Wednesday comes and we fall off the wagon. And when we fall off the wagon on Wednesday for whatever this goal is that we set, then we say, oh my goodness, I failed, and we drop the whole ball. And then we decide that, oh, it's done. What's the song that Aaliyah says? Dust yourself off and try again. Dust yourself off and try again. Don't feel that because you weren't perfectly adjusted, perfectly disciplined the very first time that you tried to implement the steps to reach your goal, that if you fell off the wagon, that you're a failure and it's done. No, dust yourself off and try again. We're in the first quarter of the year. Whatever goal you set in January or the end of December, it's okay if you didn't execute it perfectly. Dust yourself off and try again. Dust yourself off and try again. And the way that you can try again is not to just go haphazardly, blindly forward with no direction, with no goal. Say, okay, what happened right here? You don't have to wait until the complete end of a season, complete failure of a project for you to reflect and decide, okay, let me see what caused me a challenge right here. It's imperative that we regularly reflect on the challenges that are impeding our ability to obtain our goals. What obstacle have you faced that was like, was causing you a problem? Back to the eating, right? You said that you're going to stop eating bread, but every morning they bring bagels and pastries to your office. Now, you can't control who brings pastries to the office. You can't tell them not to bring it to you, not to give it to you. But what you can do is decide, oh, I know they have donuts between 8 and 10 over in this section. I'm not going to go to that section. Or I'm going to bring an alternative, a shake, a smoothie, a protein bar. I'm going to bring an alternative that will help me prevent being tempted by this challenge or will this obstacle. If you are trying to do this to implement things in your business, right? Building a website, getting your business off the ground, the incremental discipline is if you know that when you go to the bathroom, you sit on the toilet and you watch TikToks and Facebooks and you do all your social media, you may decide to say, I'm not going to do that when I go to the bathroom. I know I've done it. What I do is like I have little games. I have little games, or I have had little games on the phone. I've taken them all off. I've put them on. I've taken them all off, depending on what season I'm in. But when I notice myself spending an inordinate amount of time doing activities that are not productive, then I put um, mindset and activity enhancements in place to stop that. So again, that may be for a whole week. If I'm going to the restroom, I will not touch the games because then I'm not going to add extra time. I know I'm not the only person that's ever gone in the restroom and my legs are falling asleep. Not because I'm actually using the bathroom, but because I'm ticking on the phone. These are the things that actually can impede where it is that we're going. Right? So let's reflect on what goals have you set and why did you set them? This is um, another one of the things that I touched on in the original challenge in December. Why did you set the goal in the first place? Is this goal something that you decided you needed to do to complete a task that is paramount to your success, to your assignment? Or did you set this goal because the masses say this is what you should do in order to be successful? Or someone around you told you this is what you should do because this looks like this is something you could do. You need to get really clear about the why of your goal, the why of this thing that you've decided that you want to complete. If you decided that you wanted to um, increase your social media following, I'll use that. We'll get off food for a little while. Like I said, food is easy. If you decided that you wanted to increase your social media following, did you do it because you're looking for people to look at you and validate you because it'll make you feel better about yourself? Or are you looking to increase your social media following because you have a product that you want to sell and you understand that when people see you, they'll see your product and they'll be able to purchase it? Are you looking for likes? I know right now everybody's up in arms about buying a check mark. What would be the purpose? What would be the point of that expenditure? Does it increase the probability of your success, not appearance of success? Understand there's a difference between the two. A lot of us get caught up in the appearance of success. We are working toward being actually successful, really successful. Some of the most successful people that I know don't even have a social media account. So just be clear that social media representation does not equal success. More likely than not, it equals an appearance of success. So we said you have to determine what goals you have set, right? This is part of your reflection. What goal have you set? What time frame have you set those goals for? And why have you set them? Why have you set them? And then the last one is, where do they all stand? Where do these goals stand? Where do they stand? Are they completed, halfway completed, started, boiling in the back of your mind because you still haven't written them down? Have you started and stopped, started and decided that you couldn't do it and gave up? We need to get very clear about where we are so we know what we are going to push toward, what progress we actually are going to one, recognize, because you've had some progress. If nothing else, other than the fact that it's April and you're still here, you've had progress. You've had progress. So I'm going to wrap this up for the day. And again, I will end it with the three questions that I just asked. So please make sure that you've written those down and you reflect on those. And when we come back on tomorrow, when I come back on tomorrow for the next day of the challenge, we will get deeper into evaluating and checking out what our progress actually means, what we've learned, and what we're going to do to continue moving forward so that by the end of December, when December gets here, we not only will have accomplished what we set out to accomplish, but we'll feel it, we'll celebrate it, and we won't have any frivolous or unintentional things standing in our way to block us from having our ultimate level of success. So until tomorrow, when I will be back on here again at 11 a.m., this is Tiffany Michelle, the behind the scene queen. I am looking forward to serving you again tomorrow. And until the next time, be wise.